Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel, whether you're new or coming back. Today we're going to do our daily energy check-in with the emphasis on Divine Masculine Collective. Haven't done that one for a while, and guess what? I got a deck with me today with the Divine Masculine messages from the Pleiadian healer that I haven't used for years. I mean, seriously, no exaggeration, but I was doing a bit of a winter cleaning, let's call it that way, in my place today, because I am getting 2 cats to spend time with me for a couple of months while their owner is going to be abroad. So need to do some preparation, organization at my place, and I found this deck accidentally, so we are going to use it for sure. And as always, we will start with an oracle message, and you know that I like to do one for DF, one for DM, even in these readings, because there's so many cross watchers. So I will get us a message for each divine counterpart, and then we'll dive deeper into what's going on with divine masculines, with their energy, with their thoughts, and what kind of action are they taking at this time. And we will be using the movie tarot deck for this, the classic. All right, let's see what we have for Divine Feminine Collective first of all. What's the message? By the way, the latest episode of my show, Mindfully Awake, is now out. We were talking about conscious parenting in this last one. So I really wanted, one of the core things there was, how do you introduce mindfulness to your kids? How you can teach them simple techniques that they could be using by themselves, right? But also, in order to transition to that, I'm giving background and some principles of conscious parenting and the role that the parents play in it, essentially, right? Because especially with the younger the kids are, the more responsibility is on the parents to build that connection and to help them learn how to build connection with people. All right, so for Divine Feminines, we have Regeneration 46. This is the Death and Rebirth card here, with the emphasis on rebirth, of course. So this is the time when we're supposed to spread our wings and get ready for the flight. It's not the flight just yet, but we're getting ready for it. We're being prepared. And we're actually technically in Sagittarius season already. Happy birthday, Sagittarius. But I feel like this is almost like that's the rebirth part, because the Scorpio season was a lot about closures, was a lot about death, and death symbolically, hopefully, a lot about the endings, right? And this is about now kind of like restoring yourself and rebuilding yourself to be able to take action with the new energy. What do we have for Divine Masculines watching? Happy number 26. Yeah, so this is the happiest card here. This is about making use of the moment, really, of the momentum, right? And capitalizing on this happiness in a good way, right? Because you're so much more powerful with manifestation when you are in the happy energy. And if by any chance you're watching Divine Masculines, you're like, well, it's not really me, right? Like, this is what the universe wants for you, right? So happiness is directly in front of you. Maybe there is another step or another turn that you need to make to get to it, but this is supposed to be your inspiration in that case, so that you know what you're shooting for. You know that there's something really beautiful and powerful on the other side of whatever the current action, struggle, experience is. Okay, so I'll do the 9-card reading with Movies Tarot. I'll lay out the cards and then I'll speak to those. So for the energy, we have the Knight of Coins, Judgment, and the Chariot. Very strong cards. Then for the thoughts, we have the Justice, the Emperor. Look at all the major arcanas. This is amazing. The Hanged Man. Oh my god, 5 out of 6. And then for the action space, we have Knight of Swords, Look at how active divine masculine energy is. Both knights here. 7 of Wands and 3 of Cups. Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I just heard, before I get into the reading, questions about how to watch the show episode. I will link it in the comments. Also, there is a link to the playlist in the description box where all the episodes are there. I'm not sure if I already added this last one because it just came out, but I will link it for you. There is also a link in the community tab. There you go. Okay, so for the energy field, we have, so all in all, it's 5 major arcanas here. This is amazing. We have Knight of Coins, Judgment, and the Chariot. So there's definitely a desire to go on a mission, right? Like, it's very interesting because this knight is always the slowest knight in the deck. But look at the image itself. You know how serious, how, you know, this person appears in front of you and you know they mean business. And that's exactly what I'm getting here about divine masculine energy, right? Even though they don't have an exact plan of how they're gonna get there, right? They feel the push from the universe to continue moving forward, to continue getting clarity, not just to get from point A to point B as soon as possible, but continue exploring what is the path of light I'm hearing. What is the fair path to me and to others, right? How do I continue having that confident ride with the Chariot here? So it's not like me doing, you know, making 1 step forward, taking 2 steps backward, but I can continue confidently move forward, even if it takes longer, right? This is serious stuff. So masculines intuitively feel like they are on this very serious mission now. They're embarking on it, and they know that it's not going to be an overnight thing, but they're eager to get on it. Somehow they know that it's going to change their life in a, you know, the quality of life, the standard of life, and not just in a relationship, but overall in every aspect of their life. For the thoughts, we have the Justice, the Emperor, and the Hanged Man. All the major arcanas. This is amazing. So this is 8, 9, and 12. A lot of it to me is about karma, getting closed and karmic rebalancing, right? Which here I see that for some, in some cases, it will mean that divine masculines are seeing different, and they have understanding of what it was all about, whether they were impacted directly or it happened to someone around them, and they were impacted indirectly because they would still empathize, they would still be helping out, you know, they would witness that something, right? And here we can see how, or they can see how that's pertinent to their own life, why it was an important step. And then of course we have the Justice and the Emperor, and this is, the Justice is that karma part, right? That's getting closed, where there are payouts going both ways, where masculines maybe in the past thought that they got away with something, was a murder, I'm hearing for some, but you know what I mean, just symbolically, with something that they know was wrong. And now they have to pay for it. And it just comes very suddenly, and it's like, oh, okay. And then there is another way of it, right? Where they thought that they've been treated unfairly and maybe quite objectively, right? And now they see some kind of repayment that brings them more confidence and more empowerment into being in charge, into getting control of their life, and being able to move with more faith, really, and more confidence that they're on the right track. But it's very interesting that in the thought part, we have all major arcanas. So it's almost like it's not really divine masculines generating these thoughts. It's the downloads that they're getting from the universe, from the divine, that gets them make certain connections, right? Create new neuron networks and things like that. For the action, we have Knight of Swords, 7 of Wands, and 3 of Cups. yeah, so here there is a desire to prove themselves for the divine masculines. And on the one hand, they understand that they need to build a steady foundation to do that, because they need to be able to stand strong in their position and not just have somebody knock them over, whatever that means for them, right? So they're building a strong foundation. So if it's a job or a project, maybe they're finding an investor so that they don't have to just suddenly at some point stop doing what they're doing because they run out of money. If it's a relationship, that they're making a list and understanding what is important for them, and taking steps towards finding someone who would correspond to that foundation, to those non-negotiables. But it's not just for the thoughts, right? There are steps that are being taken by them where they communicate what they want in both serious things and the play-like things. The Three of Cups is about the celebration. It's about being together as a community, you know, with friends and family, maybe doing something together as a group, right? So they're communicating, these are my boundaries, or this is what works for me, this is something that's not gonna work for me at all, right? Or this is what I prefer, let's see if we can do it that way. So it's a certain layer of boundaries, but it's not, I don't feel that there's any kind of energy of being closed off. It's more than anything the energy of communicating clearly. This is who I am. This is what I want, right? And it's interesting because there is a part of the face and of this guy is covered. So to me, it still takes quite a lot of courage for the masculine to speak out that way, to have those difficult conversations. They're still not saying everything out loud. There's still something that they're keeping to themselves because they don't feel confident sharing that, or they don't want to be judged or something like that. But there's progress, and that's what the most important part. Okay, let's get some messages at the end, and we usually do this from masculines to feminines watching. Messages from your divine masculines. What would they like to share at this time? We got 2 messages. Please forgive me, and I think of you often. Yeah, and especially with the thought process to be all major arcana in our spread, you can tell that, you know, even if it's a little bit more driven by the masculine themselves, right, that they may be in denial, they may be pushing those thoughts away. But since these are downloads, more and more than ever, they see these different connections and the role the feminine plays in all of this. And it's a much more meaningful connection that maybe they thought before, right? So they don't necessarily think about feminine to start with. They're figuring out their life, they're making some decisions, but one way or the other, their thoughts go back to the feminine, or they think of a different situation, but feminine comes to their mind somehow, right? And they're saying forgive me because of how much they didn't understand before what this was all about and why this was an important connection and who you are to them, divine feminines. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. I hope this was useful to you guys. If so, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Leave me comments, let me know what you'd like to see more of on this channel. And until next time.